Hey guys, it's Bella. Today we're making short ribs. To start, we're going to be using these, and we're only going to be using one on the short ribs, and we're going to put these two aside for the pots. And after the short ribs are done cooking, we're going to be adding the beef stew gravy, and we're going to be seasoning the short ribs with the American spice. It says it's for oxtail, but tastes amazing on short ribs. Trust me. So to start, we're going to pull off the plastic. And while doing this, after I'm done seasoning these, they're going to go into the refrigerator for about an hour so that they can absorb the flavors of the seasonings and taste much, much better when cooked. And then I'm also going to be taking 3 of the smallest pieces of meat, and I'm going to be putting it aside in that pan because I'm also going to be making some collard greens. It looks like a lot, but once it gets in the pot and cooked, it'll be way less. All right, let's get to the second one. All right. Now let's find the 3 smallest. I think this one. Set this here. Let's look. I think that one's a bit big. This one. And this one. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and put these in the pot over here. And then we're going to fill this about a quarter way. And then we're going to turn this on. All right. And now we're going to throw these away. No trash can. Okay, now we can go ahead and season with the American spice. Get that all over. All right. And now we're going to break this open, if it will. And then get this all over as well. And then you want to mix it all together. All right. All right. And now we're going to place this into a refrigerator for an hour. All right, now that we're waiting for the short ribs in the refrigerator, as they sit for an hour, we're going to add in a small amount of minced garlic to the pot for the collard greens. All right. All right. Now we're going to add some salt. All right, and my pepper shaker battery is dead, so I'm going to use a shake pepper, hoping it's not too much or too little. All right, and now we're going to add in our collard greens. but we will have to start with a small amount. You can't just shove a bunch in there, so they can simmer down and get smaller so we can add more. All right. Okay. All right. And now we're gonna let that sit and we'll be back. As I said, it will go down. You just will add more on top. There we go. All right, and we'll let that simmer down and we'll be back. All right, now we're gonna add in the remainder of the collard greens to here. All right, and then we're gonna put this on low and let that slow cook for 6 to 8 hours. All right, the short ribs have sat for an hour, and now we're gonna prep the pan for them to be cooked. I'm gonna start off with a bit of minced garlic. I'm putting these in first so it's at the bottom, so I know that my seasoning is going to be in the meat and not just sitting on top. All right, and now we're gonna add in these 2 seasoning packets at the bottom as well. All right. Holy moly. And 2. All right. And now we're gonna add in the remaining of our American spice, the oxtail seasoning. And it looks like a lot, but majority of the seasoning is in the fluid and not intact onto the short rib. All right, now we're gonna add in the short rib. All right, and you kind of want to make them in a pattern such as this one, just so it's easier for more fully covered season and fluid. All right. Now we're gonna add in our onions. You don't have to add in onions or garlic, but I do because I like it. Now we're gonna take this over here and we're going to fill this with water in the middle. Do it in the middle so I know that the seasonings will disperse throughout the whole pan and we'll get all of the meat. All right, now we're gonna get this on. All right, the short ribs have been slow cooking for 13 hours. We have our collard greens in this bowl here, nice and cooked. We're gonna go get a piece. All right, we're gonna do a pull apart, see how that's looking. Perfect. Straight off the bone. Perfect. All right, now we're going to put this back in there, and then we're going to add in our beef stew to make the fluid thicker to be a gravy for the meat. All right. Make sure you have it at the bottom of your bag so when you open it, you don't get it everywhere. All right. And now we're going to mix this in to the bowl. All right, that's looking real good. And now we're gonna let that cook. And we'll be back. All right, our short ribs are done cooking, and I went ahead and made some rice in the process. Now we're gonna go get our pot and make some plates. Let's get our mitts over here. All right. And now we're gonna go ahead and get some collard greens on the plate first. Right over here. All right. And then some over here. Let's get another scoop. All right, and now we can go ahead and put these short ribs on the plate. Go ahead and get that on top of the rice. Let's get a little bit more on here. All right, now get this one. Let's try to get less bone and more meat because they're all falling off the bone straight off. All right. And then on there. All right. And now we're going to bring in some cilantro. Go ahead and get some of that on top. And then bring this over here. All right. Now let's get the pot out of the way. And now let's bring in our testers. All right, Dad, Jesse, come on over. Right. Here. And Jesse is definitely way more honest whether if something is good or bad more than my dad. My dad will say it's good whether if it's nasty or not. Tastes like meat. Tastes like collard green.
Mmm. Collard greens are really, really good. Yeah, thank you.
Alright, thank you guys for watching. If you would like more videos like this, let me know in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you and bye!